Hello and welcome to Brainwaves episode 172, the last ever episode of this show. For the final time, we are bringing you the best in tabletop gaming news. My name is Iain McAllister.
My name is Jamie Adams.
And I'm Oliver Kinner. And these are the headlines for the week of Monday, the 15th of December, 2025. Mythic finally lives up to its name. Dancey welcomes our AI overlords. Diamond court case rumbles on. All this and more on this last episode of Brainwaves.
Over the past year or two, we've reported on the troubles that Mythic Games has suffered. A once lauded Kickstarter-focused publisher, the company has suffered numerous issues delivering its project to backers. In the last year, it sold two of those projects, Hell and Anastasia, to Simon, a publisher in deep trouble itself. After having launched numerous crowdfunding campaigns, Mythic struggled to fulfill its promises, frequently asking for more money from backers and undergoing major restructuring to try and weather that storm. It has not succeeded. Reported by Board Game Wire on the 10th of December, Mythic has finally been liquidated. It was forced into this position at the end of October when it failed to submit its accounts. A Mythic representative told Board Game Wire,
"For nearly 2 years, the board game industry has been facing a difficult economic climate. The stock sales we were relying on were not only far below expectations, but eventually became completely non-existent. At the same time, we were confronted with several unforeseen financial issues that severely impacted our cash flow. The increase in refund requests, including unexpected direct withdrawals initiated by Stripe, banks, or PayPal, withdrawals that came in addition to the monthly refunds we were already issuing, and a VAT adjustment following a tax audit. The Luxembourg tax authorities believed that VAT had not been collected in certain countries, even though the payments had in fact been made. However, the external accounting firm we used had apparently failed to file the required documentation. We were ordered to pay a very large amount immediately, which we contested. And despite our proposal for a payment plan, while we proved our good faith, the authorities refused any compromise and seized and emptied the company's accounts."
They go on to apologise for the situation and not to blame any of the publishers and studios they partnered with on the various projects they've yet to deliver. The rights for these games have mostly returned to the publishers in question. In a final act of contrition, they're providing STL files for some of the products they are now unable to make a reality. They finish by saying this:
"For us, Mythic Games was far more than a company. It was a human adventure driven by a love of games, shared by the entire team, and by the desire to create memorable experiences. Knowing that we were not able to deliver to all our backers is a failure that will weigh heavily on us for a long time. We are deeply sorry for not having been able to honor all our commitments, and we sincerely thank all those who supported us throughout this journey."
It's about time they admitted nothing was happening, wasn't it?
It sounds like they've been dead since the start of the year, basically, and just haven't wanted to say so.
I mean, it does come across in their press statement anyway that like it's not malicious, but my goodness.
Yeah, I don't think it's malicious either. I think there's just too much enthusiasm, too many Kickstarter. I mean, the thing that kind of blows my mind is like they had several undelivered Kickstarters, and then people just kept giving them money.
Yeah,
like okay,
but it's the sunk cost fallacy.
Well, we try to make people aware, but they're still we're giving money. But it just, I find it weird.
Sadly, our outreach just wasn't.
Yeah, we need to grow. Sorry.
Yes. That's what we've been needing to do. Oh, next episode we'll talk about. Oh, wait.
No,
sorry,
but
Oliver.
What I find weird is that it feels like the tax authority has actually forced the hand in the end, rather than them saying, "Right, this is it. We can't do anymore." It's like, actually, we're basically being closed down by someone else rather than making decisions themselves. So. Yeah,
I'm glad someone made the decision because it was pretty obvious they were just not going anywhere.
So it's a bit weird when other companies have like actively folded and said, "Look, we can't afford to carry on. So let's close this down," sort of in a ordered manner. They sort of just kept going, and then no money left. And then the tax authority said, "Right, we're going to have your accounts as well, please. Thank you."
I mean, I really feel for all the backers who are out money, but. Especially if you back some of their later campaigns, knowing the history of the company,
it's on you.
It's hard to feel a lot of sympathy because, like, the news was out there about them and how badly they were doing. Yep. They were a once lauded company, but now, Yeah, terrible thing, especially for Hell and Anastasia backers who have had that game passed to like Simon and now Don't Panic Games. If that ever sees the light of day. Yeah.
So here's our regular reminder. If you back something with crowdfunding, you're not paying for a product, you're just backing a project. You may not see that project.
Yeah.
Or that project come to life, or the product that you think you
Indeed.
would. It's not a shop.
No, much as Kickstarter like to think that it is.
Yeah. And we will keep saying this even if no one will listen to us.
Yeah.
Speaking of nobody listening to us, Iain, I believe we've got an update from somebody that we've been trying to hold accountable for a couple of years now.
Yes, our last episode really is rolling out our greatest hits. Back in 2023, Ryan Dancey, head of US games publisher Aldrich Entertainment Group, weighed in on a post by Elizabeth Hargrave, the well-regarded designer of Wingspan, amongst other titles. Elizabeth regularly shares a breakdown of female designers nominated for the Spiel des Jahres. In a shock to no one, it was vanishingly small in this particular year. Ryan started by saying that AEG had seen many pitches from female designers, but had only taken on Mariposas by Elizabeth herself. He then said this.
I think there's a significant gap between when someone decides to try and become a game designer and when they produce their first publishable game. Life in that gap consists of a lot of rejection and negative criticism. I wonder if that gap accounts for a good part of missing female design cohort. Females are socialised in the West to avoid situations where they're subject to fairly harsh criticism of their abilities and creative ideas. Males are socialised to take the punches and keep moving forward. Getting across the gap is how you turn someone into a real game designer who gets paid for their work and who makes designs that are attractive to publish.
Ryan was understandably shamed into walking back this statement and even pledged to consider more designs from marginalised groups, challenging folks to hold him accountable, as he put it. We did, several times, and AEG, as far as we're aware, are still to make good on this pledge. All this is just to put what comes next in some context. On a recent post in LinkedIn, Ryan responded to a piece from Meeple Mountain that questioned the use of AI in games and wondered why folk think that human creativity should be replaced by algorithms. Ryan compares this moment, as he puts it, to the rise of digital tools to make art and points out that early digital art wasn't great until folks learnt to use these new tools. He finishes by saying,
Intuitively, great art will be made by humans plus AI. Eventually.
Now, I shared this on Blusky, pointing out that Ryan was effectively embracing generative AI. I heard nothing back until on the 11th of December, Ryan replied to me on Blusky saying this.
Feels inevitable to me.
I pointed out that NFTs were at one point inevitable, to which he replied,
There is a place for NFTs, but the valuations for dumb uses of that tech were clearly a mania. It is hard to accept that the move towards AI is a mania, or that the trajectory of capability it is on will soon plateau.
I responded by saying that NFTs are effectively dead technology at this point and no one really cares about them. Almost the same with cryptocurrency, which was also inevitable at one point. I received no further reply. Responding to Jay from 3 Minute Board Games, who wrote,
I really hope that isn't AEG's official point of view.
Ryan said this.
AEG's official policy is that we don't use AI in our products without prior written authorization, which currently is limited to marketing materials and pre-production work on text. We don't use it for art or graphic design.
When I asked for clarification on what prior written authorization meant, he replied with this.
All our contracts stipulate that the contractors can't use AI without prior written permission from AEG, with pretty stiff penalties. We have not, and have no plans to, provide such permission.
I followed up by questioning why they need to have the permission structure in place at all, to which Ryan said,
Because we want to be sure no one who works on an AEG product thinks it will be easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
I have replied with the following.
While I understand that position, do you not think it would show leadership for AEG to take a more obvious stance on this matter? This feels like you're leaving the door open to say yes at some point.
At the time of recording, I have not received a reply to this, though that last exchange was only sort of 2 or 3 hours ago, and we're recording on the 12th of December at 8:30. Thereabouts. So there might be more replies. Check out our Blusky.
Definitely check out your Blusky.
Yeah,
check out my Blusky. There might be a further conversation there.
Yes, as Oliver said, link in the show notes. And yes, just because saying something's inevitable doesn't make it so.
Yeah, I mean, women not having the vote was inevitable at one point. Black slaves never being free was inevitable at one point. I mean, there are like gigantically crazy things in history that we look back on and go, that's horrible, that were inevitable at one point and now are not the case. like you say, Jamie, saying something's inevitable doesn't actually make it so. As I pointed out in my conversation with Ryan, NFTs and cryptocurrency were inevitable a few years ago. Anybody carrying around a cryptocurrency credit card in their wallet? No.
Not yet.
You're not paying for your Sainsbury's groceries with Bitcoin.
But as before we started recording, Oliver
not.
did say that there's a place in Switzerland where you can do that. And I, for one, would love to go and, do my weekly commute to Switzerland, that particular one shop, just so I can get my messages.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I do need to invest in cryptocurrency in order to do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of tech bros at the moment trying to convince you that various things that they are investing in are inevitable. And
yeah, because otherwise, how are they going to get good returns on it?
Exactly. Some of them might be, maybe, I don't know, but not all of them.
I mean,
and
just to clarify as well, I don't think any of us necessarily have an issue with the technology as such. I think the big issue is that it's stealing copyrighted work without permission.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is at the core of it. Generative AI may work, may be great, and who knows. But at the moment, it's only commercially viable because all these tech companies can just use copyrighted work without paying the copyright holder or getting permission to use the work. And they're even trying to push through legislation in various, I think even in the UK they're working on it, but in the US where basically AI is allowed to use copyrighted work without any recompense or anything, while everyone else has to uphold copyright. So I don't know. It's just all very weird.
And like Sam Altman, who's the head of OpenAI in the States, has gone on record saying, like, if we had to pay for that stuff, we wouldn't have a company. It's like, well, then you don't have a company.
Yeah, indeed.
You don't have a business model. Yeah. Your business model is stealing other people's stuff.
Got a broken business model, and therefore it shouldn't deserve to exist.
Yeah. Talking about broken business models.
Well,
yeah, as we reported previously, Diamond Distribution, one of the largest distribution companies for comics and RPGs in North America, ran into financial difficulties early in the year and was declared bankrupt. Since then, the company has been in the news a few more times, most recently for asking court to allow to sell any stock in its warehouses in order to pay off creditors. Now we have some updates on the various claims, counterclaims, and numerous motions filed by all the involved parties. Now bear with us. As reported on the 24th of November by ICV2, the news website for geek culture retailers, the federal bankruptcy court in Maryland denied Alliance Entertainment's motion to dismiss a counterclaim filed by Diamond Comic Distributors following a hearing held in the week prior to the ruling. Diamond's counterclaim alleges that Alliance Entertainment breached agreements signed during the sale process and violated court-ordered bidding procedures. The court also denied 4 motions to dismiss complaints filed by Alliance Entertainment against Diamond Comic Distributors and related companies, investment bank Raymond James, restructuring consultants Getzler, Heinrich and Associates LLC, Chief Restructuring Officer Robert Gorin, and Alliance Game Distributors co-CEOs Charlie Tyson and Dan Hirsch. In its lawsuit, Alliance Entertainment claims that the defendants intentionally concealed the end of the distribution contract between Alliance Game Distributors and Wizards of the Coast until after the asset purchase agreement was signed and approved by the court. Alliance Entertainment alleges that this concealment caused it to terminate its asset purchase agreement for the company's comic and game distribution assets. Claims of negligent misrepresentation against the Diamond Companies, restructuring consultants, and Tyson Hirsch were also allowed to proceed. The court further refused to dismiss the claim of breach of implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing against the Diamond Companies. By denying the motions to dismiss, the court confirmed that both Alliance Entertainment's claims and Diamond's counterclaim will move forward to trial. In the meantime, creditors who were worried that the funds in Diamond's accounts would quickly dwindle seem to have been vindicated when advisors in the bankruptcy case and related litigations billed nearly $900,000 in October. That's substantially up from the roughly $700,000 billed in September. Total legal, banking, and consulting fees have now reached a total of around $16.6 million, which means that this money is no longer available to pay creditors. Now, I was trying to figure out who's suing, who
we spent all this money on legal fees and can't pay you anymore.
Hey, what a great job.
I don't know whether
we could do another 200 episodes of Brainwaves and this story will still not have finished.
Exactly.
It's just going to go rumble on forever, isn't it?
I think it'll finish once the money's actually run out. That's when the end.
But the money has run out.
Well, it hasn't quite. But
I mean, it really has.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time you get to if there's an actual conclusion, the creditors are going to get like a cent each.
Yes. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's terrible. I really feel for the companies that are affected, but yeah, it's just rumbling on. It feels like a horribly tangled legal saga.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely horrible. Hi folks, Iain from the editing suite here. After we recorded, the Diamond case took a turn as reported by ICV2. The bank that was funding the Chapter 11 bankruptcy, JP Morgan Chase Bank NA, decided to stop doing so. The bankruptcy proceedings will now proceed to Chapter 7, effectively paving the way for liquidation of Diamond comic distributors. The bank has allowed an extra additional amount to fund the path to Chapter 7. Under Chapter 7, the Court will now appoint a trustee whose job will be to wrap up the company and sell off any remaining assets and distribute the money to debtors. There is some money still in the Diamond accounts after the sale of assets over the last couple of months. The fate of the stock that Diamond still holds from its debtors is still to be determined. Diamond was recently trying to seize that stock and sell it before the debtors put a stop to that in court.
Now on to the news.
On the 27th of November 2025, Asmodee, the worldwide tabletop gaming giant, announced the promotion of Marjolaine Loberman, currently Deputy Chief Commercial Officer, to Chief Commercial Officer and EVP route to market by spring 2026, succeeding Steve Buckmaster. Loberman has over 23 years of experience in the game industry and distribution, including founding Enigma Distribution Benelux in 2011, which was later acquired by Asmodee. She also serves as chairwoman of the Dutch Toy Industry Association and was nominated for the Wonder Woman Award for her leadership and influence in the industry. Loberman, or Luberman probably, will report to Thomas Kugler, CEO of Asmodee, and will become a member of the company's executive management team. Buckmaster decided to step aside after nearly 24 years and will move into an advisory role within the company. He began his career with Asmodee at Esdevium in the UK, serving in roles including sales director, managing director, and later as head of distribution at a global level. Over his tenure, he was instrumental in driving Asmodee's growth, mentoring teams and building relationships with retailers and partners worldwide. Thomas Kugler, Asmodee's CEO, said this about the changes.
For almost 25 years, Steve has played an extraordinary role in shaping who we are as a company and as a growing community. His leadership and genuine love of games have inspired so many across the group. As he moves into a new chapter, I want to sincerely thank him for his contribution and friendship. I'm equally proud to welcome Marjolaine to the role. I appreciate her vision, collaborative spirit, and deep industry knowledge that she demonstrated through her contribution to our executive management team meetings for the past months. I'm confident the transition will be seamless and that this evolution will help Asmodee continue its successful trajectory while staying true to our DNA.
Luberman had this to say about her appointment.
This journey started years ago, and I'm committed to keep reinforcing the relationships we've built with our partners over the years and bring them to the next level. I believe we have an unmatched infrastructure in place to keep thriving as one of the leaders in the industry. I want to thank Steve for his continued support and the pleasure of working with him over these many years, and Thomas for his trust in me. I'm looking forward to this new chapter together with him and the executive management team.
Now, before we go any further, as we always do, it's worth pointing out Oliver has done paid work for Asmodee with a bit of transparency there. Changes.
More people moving.
COOs and CCO, sorry.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about that one.
Nope.
Moving on to more movement, I think, is what we're saying.
Yep, we're moving on to more moving.
Indeed. GAMA, the Game Manufacturers Association, has a reputation for reorganising more than it actually organises any efforts to help the tabletop games industry, and this month is no exception. John Stacey left the organisation as executive director last month and has been replaced in the interim by Zaria Davis. Davis has a background in leadership and restorative practice through her consultancy, New Direction Coaching and Consulting. If that has a tone of the new age about it, you aren't wrong. Azaria is also a past lives regression hypnotherapist. I'm not joking. GAMA President Nicole Brady said this of the hire to Board Game Wire.
The board has brought Zaria Davis in as interim executive director to ensure we keep moving forward during this transitional stage. She'll be helping the organisation build on our existing procedures with the primary objective of ensuring a strong foundation for when we hire the new executive director. We're incredibly excited to tap into Zaria's knowledge and expertise.
Davis said that she was looking forward to engaging with members, strengthening organisational processes, and advancing GAMA's mission to support and connect the tabletop industry, according to Board Game Wire. That really is quite the hire.
I mean, I'm sorry, maybe I'm getting cynical, but hearing the two appointments, just their missions sound incredibly similar. And I'm just like, of course that's what you want to do. You want to not get fired, drive up the profit margins for your company, and make sure people go, oh, that company.
But if you're trying to like GAMA's trying to do this thing where it's like, 10 years out, it's got these big grand plans now. I think we've reported on this a couple of times.
We have.
And to hire someone with this background and have that, like, their past lives aggression hypnotherapist be like the headline title of like what their experience is, does not exactly
to be fair, Iain,
transmit a position of authority and strength, does it?
To be fair, Iain, we've all come from different walks of life to talk about tabletop gaming.
True.
This admittedly, as far as I'm aware, none of us have any new age businesses that I'm aware of.
No.
Yeah.
Of course, if you want to do it, if you want to admit it, if you want to admit it, now's the time.
I've asked Zario, maybe I have done something like that in my past life. You never know.
Turns out someone is the reincarnation of Charles Darrow, the guy who stole Monopoly. We'll see.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, controversial? No, he's been dead for a while. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, let's move on to a little licensing deal.
Yes, Mongoose Publishing, the UK RPG company that publishes Traveller and Paranoia, amongst other titles, has announced an expansion of the Traveller line. Licensing the veteran sci-fi RPG to the company, world's largest RPG, Mongoose have announced that Traveller is going to see a new edition using the current 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons rule set. The project will be about 4 to 5 books presented in a slipcase. This is similar to the format for the world's largest dungeon that the company, World's Largest RPG, crowdfunded earlier this year to the tune of $1 million. The new version will be developed by Timothy Brown, a Traveller veteran who developed the 2300 version of the game for Game Designers Workshop in 1986. And just to clarify, there is the company called World's Largest RPG, and they have the World's Largest Dungeon as a product or a format or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
It's a product, yeah.
So, over to you guys. I know none of these words that I've just read.
Yeah, I mean, like, Traveller is an infamous sci-fi RPG, really well respected.
What about infamous, Iain? That's a bit unfair. That's unfair.
That character creation system is infamous. So the original Traveller had it has this sort of life path character creation system where you effectively sort of roll randomly to create your character, and it gets all sort of bits of your character, like you might be in the Navy or a military or a space truck or that kind of thing. But infamously, you can die during character creation in one of the very early versions of that system. So your character just dies at some point.
Well, it's still interesting. It's the story to tell.
Later versions do not have that as much, admittedly. But yeah, it's a very well regarded sci-fi RPG. It was one of the very early ones outside of sort of D&D, taking like people into the stars and planetary systems and that kind of thing, and being very it's quite Excel spreadsheety for my taste. It's got a lot of like trading and that kind of thing in it, and that kind of thing. That the character creation system, the life path system, that kind of makes Traveller what it is, and transferring into 5th edition, I don't know if that will like alter quite strongly what it is. I mean, it'll maybe get the game some more fans, which I'm sure it wants. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I have no idea. Maybe someone will send me a copy for review. I don't know.
Not about after what you said just now. You're not getting a copy.
It's the homogenization of everything needs to be 5th edition. It doesn't need to be, but that's how you get the money now. Why should I learn a new system? Because I've already learned D&D 5th edition. There are other systems which are better than D&D 5th edition. I'm saying that now.
That's RPGs in general, though. There's a lot of like weird, like, I don't want to learn a new system kind of stuff, which is historic and has various reasons behind it. But yeah. No, you're right. I mean, 5th edition is where the big bucks are, certainly. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's in everything. So yeah, I can understand the reasoning behind it from a commercial point of view, but I'm just not sure it's going to be terribly successful.
Oh, I also understand it. I am just, I was about to say cynical about it. Me? Cynical? What? Never. Moving on swiftly.
Anyway, Jamie, something you're not cynical about.
Yes. Descended from Iron Age tribes, the Picts were one of the largest indigenous groups in Scotland in the early medieval era, with Pictland stretching from north of the Firth of Forth all the way to Shetland, with the heart of the kingdom in Moray and Aberdeenshire. Despite this, there's scant information about them as a civilization, even in Scotland. Until now. Following a successful crowdfunding campaign, Carved in Stone, A Storyteller's Guide to the Picts, is both a role-playing setting guide and an archaeological and anthropological study to dispel the common idea of Picts as tattooed blue barbarians. Developed over 4 years, it's published with the help of the Edinburgh-based Stout Stoat Press and Dr. Heather Christie of the Society of Antiquaries of Scotland. At 160 pages, it contains a thorough examination with gorgeous illustrations of elements of Pictish life, from clothing and settlements to art and faith and so much more. Dr. Geoffrey Sanders, head of outreach at the Society of Antiquaries of Scotland, has said this.
There have been so many exciting archaeological discoveries about the Picts in recent years, and we wanted to find a way to really bring these stories to life. So we spoke to Stout Stoat Press about designing a setting for a tabletop role-playing game where people could actually use this information to play as a Pict. But to do justice to their diversity of cultures, languages, and social life, they ended up creating a book that far exceeded our original plan, effectively producing a sweeping guide which captures early medieval Pictish life in its rich entirety.
Now, it can be ordered at the Stout Stoat website for PDF or a physical copy. Now, I realise that's something of a product statement, like we don't really do it, but occasionally we do, because as we've said many times on this podcast, we generally don't do it until we feel like it, because it's things that really interest us. Iain is currently really excited about this, aren't you, Iain?
Good copy.
Yeah, I bought a copy for my wife for Christmas.
I was trying.
So I can totally say that.
That's fine. I was trying to bury the lead on it. I didn't want to say just in case she listened to it. Yes, Iain is currently holding up to the camera a copy of it, and I'm very jealous.
It is a very nice thing, and yeah, I want to support Brian, and like Kath has an interest in like learning more about Picts, so yeah, I decided to pick up because it seemed like a good entry into reading about culture.
You picked it up, you mean?
I picked it up. Hey,
thank you. Yeah, as I said in the article, just that the archaeological anthropological kind of examination of it is very cool because, yeah, why not learn more a little bit about where the country that you live in, or the two of us live in?
It's even though we don't normally cover product launches and things like that. I mean, this is a sort of proper historical game, and it's actually got sort of educational goals, I guess. So I think,
and it's got backing of actual antiquarians and like historians, and it's an interesting thing to.
Yeah,
cover.
it's not just gamers going, we like the Picts, so we put together a Pictish world, which is the Picts, but also fantasy, because of course
that rarely goes well. And now for the last time, some obituaries.
The Brainwaves team is sad to report the passing of Burt Meyer at age 99. Meyer is probably best known for creating the game Rock'em Sock'em Robots in 1964 and collaborating on a host of other games including Light Bright, a light-up peg artboard, Gooey Louie, where players pull bogies out of a giant man's nose until his brain pops out, and Mousetrap, where a fantastical trap is created by players, and there's also a game about mice in there somewhere. I think we all know Mousetrap. Some of these creations found their way into pop culture. Rock'em Sock'em Robots featured in Toy Story 2, and Light Bright was more recently seen in Stranger Things. Mr. Meyer, who had a car license plate reading Toy King, was also a pilot into his late 80s. He travelled to the North Pole when he was 69, and he was a scuba diver and a prolific motorcyclist. Author Tim Walsh said of Meyer this.
There was a lot of mischievousness in him. He was joyful and playful like a kid and treated toy design as an art form.
The whole Brainwaves team sends their condolences to this family.
I don't want to say too much of it, make light of it, but how many of us actually played Mousetrap as a game and didn't just build?
I don't know if I ever played this game. But
there we go.
I've definitely
Played it as a game and actually played it as a game and didn't just put the mousetrap together, just kept doing that.
Nah, I didn't have a copy of it, but friends did. So yeah, I've definitely played with the toy.
I have seen. I didn't do that. I've seen a YouTube channel where they played it properly, and the Rube Goldberg-esque trap was the best part. Of course, it is.
Yeah,
feels like sort of thing would be interesting to sort of like review nowadays. Like sort of look at as a sort of cultural phenomenon.
It's one person.
I've been thinking about reviewing classic games, but looking at it in the modern light to see what how it fits in.
Exactly, like creating some kind of like cult of the old.
Yeah, someone
like examination.
Similar,
yeah. Oliver, I think you and I should do that after we've left. I can't think of any other podcast that does anything like that.
I've just had the idea, original idea. So
OG, do not steal. Iain, cut this from the broadcast. It's too good.
Gold, it's gold.
And for the very last time, I'd like to just give a wee shout out to our patrons, especially Kevin Bertram from Four Circle Games, James Naylor from Naylor Games, and Shaun Newman from the Game Lot team, who have supported us all these years at the executive level. And just thank you to everyone who's given us money over the years, or support in any way or form, just sharing the cast or chatting to us, coming into our Discord, helping us out with finding news and sort of helping us put this cast together. We're very, very grateful. We totally understand that as Brainwaves comes to an end, that some of that financial support may ebb or cease. That is totally fine. We completely understand that. I will still be writing on the Giant Brain. I'll still be doing reviews. I'll maybe do some new stuff from time to time. I'm hoping the newsletter that I've been doing over the last few months will become a little bit bigger and probably contain some links to new stuff. But yeah, yes, thank you so much for all your support over the years. 7 years it's been. Yeah, 7 years of casts. Over 200 casts in total, 172 regular episodes. But yeah, we've actually put out 200 episodes, including all sort of our interviews and that kind of thing as well. 5 hosts over that time, including us 3. Sam, Mags, and Iain Chandler as well. We hope to do one-off sort of like retrospective special that will probably record in the new year, because we can't quite find the time before Christmas at the moment to get everyone together to sort of look back on the cast and that kind of thing, and just sort of chat about what we've done over the years and have a bit of a laugh. And we'll put that out in the new year, but that will be the last official Brainwaves cast when that goes out. This is the last sort of regular episode. How are you guys feeling about it?
It was an honor. I really appreciate having
It's been a pleasure having you.
And it's always, I appreciate all the work that goes into it as well, all the writing up. It feels
you've done a lot of that, so thank you.
No, pleasure. But yeah, it is hard work, and it's good that that has been going. But I think, like you said, Iain, before, there are other news places out there, Board Game Wire, Rascal, even ICV2 that we keep quoting as well. So there are places that do it.
For your computer game stuff, Aftermath as well is a independently owned sort of a journalist site as well, which I've been quite enjoying. I don't subscribe to them at the moment, but yeah, Aftermath's good for your computer game stuff if you want that as well.
And they're doing great journalistic work as well. That's the thing. I think it does take time to do it properly. I think we've been covering the sort of news more on a sort of superficial level, if that's fair to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it feels like we're starting to basically do a disservice to people. Either invest more time and make this really a big thing, or hand over maybe now to other people who are doing it much better. So.
Patrons have been absolutely fantastic in giving us money, but a great percentage of that has been keeping the website going. Like pretty much we're doing this because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we said when we started the podcast, when it was Iain, me and Sam, we said when we stop being fun, we'll put it to bed.
Yeah.
And you know what? We still love doing these things, but it's just time for Brainwaves to mosey on up and ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, like Oliver says, like Rascal, Board Game Wire exist, and those folks are actual journalists, with journalist backgrounds. They have a lot more time in their hands to actually look into things. I'm proud of some of the work we've done. Like the Simon Lamender stuff we did was great. Mm-hmm. I think we basically brought that site down, which is great because he was a shyster. he deserved to be brought down. But yeah, to like continue, I'd want to do more stuff like that, and I just do not have the time anymore. I'm trying to like write more about RPGs, trying to get more time to read RPGs and like get into that world a little bit more. Obviously, I'm writing a little bit more for TGGM now as well, and I just want to do a bit more writing on the site as well. I just haven't done quite as much this year because I've just been busy, like transitioning at work to a new role and that kind of thing as well. And it's just Brainwaves has just become a little bit more work, and like Oliver says, like we've been repeating a little bit more about what other people are covering as well. And I'll still be sharing that stuff on my Blusky certainly when Rascal and Board Game War and people like that are like covering those news stories for sure. And if something takes my fancy, I might go back and like sort of do some longer written pieces about like what's going on in the board game world as well. That's entirely possible.
I think for a long time we've been putting our stories and putting them to other people's work. I mean, it's been a long time. It was Dicebreaker was kind of a good news site.
Oh, yeah, let's not forget about Dicebreaker. Yeah,
let's not forget the many news sites that have come and gone, sadly.
Indeed.
But yeah, we did our own small thing and hope it worked and hope you liked it, And if you listened this far, thanks. Really?
Yeah.
And you will hear some more. I mean, Iain, you're doing various other podcasts. Obviously, you got
Ian's got at least 2
stuff. And Jamie, what are you doing?
Yep.
What are you doing? We're going to hear you next.
I don't know.
On
so
stage.
if you on stage, with a weapon in my hand. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. So if anyone out there is looking for someone who I can send you, 100 and something episodes of my voice.
Yeah, I mean, the Brainwaves, I've got the hosting for Podbean until next September, I think it is.
Brilliant.
The cast will still be around. After that, I'll transition to some sort of free hosting. So the cast will still be around. Certainly, you can listen to like all our older interview episodes. People still download some of the older news episodes. That's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
So the cast will still be around for a good while, and like we'll basically live ad infinitum online somehow. I'll figure that out closer to the time. Such is the way of digital technology. It'll just exist.
Trying to think if there's any stories that I've stuck in my mind. No. Most of them have slid off. Just we do them and then they go.
They're gone.
Well, we can save that for our retrospective episode.
I might have a look back. And go, is there anything?
Proper interview episode where we can all remember.
What do you remember? I don't remember much. Just
the
record
drinking.
saying
Drinking.
things.
Remember the drinking.
What? Whoa, excuse me. But that being said,
sober when we do this.
No, I am on water tonight. That being said, I will still probably, if Iain will still have me, kick around as kind of
course,
member, and still doing pub quizzes at Tabletop Scotland. If
we'll still be doing that for sure. Yeah,
and all this time that I've known Oliver, which has been about 5 years now, because I think we got in contact during the pandemic, we've still never met, so that still needs to happen at some point.
It does, yeah. Yep. Somewhere.
I'll have to get to Oliver up for Tabletop Scotland.
Yes.
Yeah, we keep saying that. I need to try and make it happen. Okay.
Absolutely. Easy to get a fly up here.
Has anyone got anything else? I had literally found a Monopoly story for the episode, but there's no point using it. And I'd like to know how many episodes did actually have Monopoly in them.
I could probably work that out.
Iain, you probably could, but I just want to
search.
I just want to.
It's got to be at least like 2/3.
Yeah.
Well, right. We'll see. I mean, this one was literally just like keychain games, and there was a whole bunch of keychain games that you could take with you that were even more portable than things like Oink games.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Excuse me?
But anyway, folks, thank you very much for all your support over the years. Much love to you all for listening to us. Much love to all my co-hosts over the years as well, especially these two who have been in it for the longest. Jamie's been with me right from the start. So, yeah, it's definitely the end of an era for the site, but changes are going to come. And, we'll still be around. We'll still be online. Do follow us and see what we get up to next.
And very quickly before we go, no. You don't get away that easily, because I've been not a great deal. You have been the one who put it together. You've been the one who's hosting the site. You've been the one who's kind of cracking the whip occasionally and being the one like sorting out the Simon Lavender situation, putting all this together. So
Iain
I know
the brain of this organization. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, he is the giant brain of the giant brain. So I don't want any of this nonsense like, oh, you guys are great. You guys, yes. But none of us would be here doing this if it wasn't for you. So
Thank you.
Take your thanks. If there is any applause, take it. And yeah, exactly. Play that applause in, please.
I'll just ask them in.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's just one solitary.
Just a golf clap.
just a slow clap. Yeah, take it, because it's you were the primogenitor, and that's why you're kicking off and doing more stuff, which is fantastic. And it's been a joy working with you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, gents. For now, everyone, thank you very much. Good night and good luck.